I still remember the exact words my stepmother said the day we buried my father. She looked at me, cold, impatient, like I was a stranger. "Take whatever junk you want from the attic," she said, "then leave this house for good." So I did. All I took was one dusty old trunk she said was worthless. 3 weeks later, I got a phone call from the fire department. My father's house was burning to the ground, and my stepmother was screaming to everyone that I had set the fire. But what the firefighters found in the basement that night was something she never knew existed, and it destroyed her life forever. Before we get into the story, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable real-life stories like this. And I want to ask you something. If someone tried to erase your father's legacy, would you fight back or walk away? Now let me tell you what really happened. My father, Richard Hale, built his construction company from nothing. 40 years of work, thousands of homes built, and a reputation everyone in Michigan respected. But 2 years before he died, everything changed. He married my stepmother, Linda, a woman no one in our family trusted. She came with 2 adult kids, Mark and Ashley, and suddenly they were everywhere. At family dinners, at company meetings, even handling my father's finances. At first, I tried to believe my father was happy, but something always felt wrong. And then he died. A sudden heart attack. At least, that's what everyone said. The day of the funeral was cold and gray. Family members were leaving the house quietly. But Linda stopped me near the staircase. Her voice was sharp. "You're not part of this family anymore." I stared at her. "What are you talking about?" She smiled. "The will is very clear." My stomach dropped. According to the new will, everything belonged to her. The house, the company, even my father's savings. All I got was permission to take personal junk from the attic. And then she told me to leave. Forever. The attic smelled like dust and old wood. Boxes stacked everywhere. Most of it looked like trash, but one thing caught my eye. An old wooden trunk. Scratched, rusted hinges. My stepbrother laughed when he saw it. "Take it," he said. "Dad was too sentimental to throw garbage away." So I dragged it to my car. I didn't even open it for days. Inside were just old childhood photos, toys, letters my dad wrote me when I went to college. Nothing valuable. Or so I thought. 3 weeks later, my phone rang. "Is this Emily Hale?" a man asked. "Yes." "This is the fire department." My heart stopped. "The Hale residence is on fire." Then he added something strange. "Your stepmother claims you started it." I couldn't believe it. Why would she accuse me? But when I arrived, the house was already collapsing, flames everywhere. Linda was screaming hysterically, pointing at me. "That's her! She did it!" The police questioned me for hours, but something about the fire didn't make sense. 2 days later, the fire marshal called me. "We found signs of accelerant," he said. "Someone intentionally set the fire." But then he said something even stranger. While searching the basement, firefighters discovered something under the floorboards, a small fireproof safe, and on top of it, engraved in the steel, was my childhood nickname, Emmy. My father was the only person who ever called me that. The safe survived the fire completely. When investigators opened it, everyone in the room went silent. Inside were documents, video drives, and sealed envelopes. The first document was a will, but not the one Linda showed at the funeral. This one was older, signed, notarized, and it left everything to me. Then they played the video. My father appeared on the screen. He looked serious, tired. If you're watching this, something has gone very wrong. He explained everything. For 2 years, he suspected Linda was stealing from the company, money slowly disappearing, accounts being moved. So he started investigating secretly, and what he discovered was worse than he imagined. Financial records in the safe showed everything. Over 7 years, Linda had stolen $1.8 million from her company, transferred through fake vendors, shell accounts, even accounts in her children's names. But that wasn't the worst part. Another envelope contained medical documents and letters, proof that she had lied about being pregnant when they met. She used that lie to pressure my father into marriage. There had never been a baby. It was all manipulation. The last item in the safe shocked everyone. Hard drives. My father had installed hidden cameras in his office and parts of the house. For months, they recorded everything. Linda talking about money, Mark forging signatures, Ashley discussing how the will could be changed. One recording showed them laughing about how easy it was to control my father. Then the investigators understood the truth. Linda burned the house herself. She wanted to destroy all evidence, especially the fake will. But she didn't know about the hidden safe, the one my father buried under the basement floor, the one meant for me. The trial lasted 6 months. The courtroom was packed. When the videos played, Linda's face went pale. Her lawyer tried to argue the recordings were illegal, but the judge allowed them. One by one, every lie collapsed. The forged will, the stolen money, even the fire. In the end, the verdict was clear. Linda was convicted of fraud, arson, forgery, embezzlement. She was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Her children lost everything tied to the company, and my father's real will was finally honored. The company returned to me, but the house was gone, burned to the ground. For a long time, I stood in the empty lot, remembering the life that used to be there. Then I made a decision. Half of my father's money I donated to a domestic abuse shelter, because the truth was, Linda had been emotionally abusive for years, and I knew other families were going through the same thing. One last letter in the safe was addressed to me. My father wrote, "Emmy, if you're reading this, it means you were strong enough to fight for the truth. I'm proud of you." That was the last thing he ever said to me, and somehow it felt like he was still protecting me, even after he was gone. So that's the story of how my stepmother tried to erase my father's legacy and ended up destroying her own life instead. But I want to ask you something. If you discovered your family was secretly stealing from you, would you expose them or keep the peace? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoy powerful stories like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next one.